I ate an apple. I ate an apple.
J'ai mangé une pomme.
I ate an apple. She watched a movie. She watched a movie.
Elle a regardé un film.
She watched a movie. We visited Paris. We visited Paris.
Nous avons visité Paris.
We visited Paris. He bought a car. He bought a car.
Il a acheté une voiture.
He bought a car. They studied for the exam. They studied for the exam.
Ils ont étudié pour l'examen.
They studied for the exam. You finished your homework. You finished your homework.
Tu as fini tes devoirs.
You finished your homework. I met a friend. I met a friend.
J'ai rencontré un ami.
I met a friend. She took some photos. She took some photos.
Elle a pris des photos.
She took some photos. We played soccer. We played soccer.
Nous avons joué au football.
We played soccer. He wrote a letter. He wrote a letter.
Il a écrit une lettre.
He wrote a letter. They slept late. They slept late.
Ils ont dormi tard.
They slept late. You spoke to the teacher. You spoke to the teacher.
Tu as parlé au professeur.
You spoke to the teacher. I saw a rainbow. I saw a rainbow.
J'ai vu un arc-en-ciel.
I saw a rainbow. She made a cake. She made a cake.
Elle a fait un gâteau.
She made a cake. We read a book. We read a book.
Nous avons lu un livre.
We read a book. He gave a gift. He gave a gift.
Il a donné un cadeau.
He gave a gift. They sang a song. They sang a song.
Ils ont chanté une chanson.
They sang a song. You opened the door. You opened the door.
Tu as ouvert la porte.
You opened the door. I drank some coffee. I drank some coffee.
J'ai bu du café.
I drank some coffee. She played the piano. She played the piano.
Elle a joué du piano.
She played the piano. We cleaned the house. We cleaned the house.
Nous avons nettoyé la maison.
We cleaned the house. He drew a portrait. He drew a portrait.
Il a dessiné un portrait.
He drew a portrait. They ran in the park. They ran in the park.
Ils ont couru dans le parc.
They ran in the park. You invited some friends. You invited some friends.
Tu as invité des amis.
You invited some friends. I learned to swim. I learned to swim.
J'ai appris à nager.
I learned to swim. She sewed a dress. She sewed a dress.
Elle a cousu une robe.
She sewed a dress. We danced all night. We danced all night.
Nous avons dansé toute la nuit.
We danced all night. He brought flowers. He brought flowers.
Il a apporté des fleurs.
He brought flowers. They built a house. They built a house.
Ils ont construit une maison.
They built a house. You watched the stars. You watched the stars.
Tu as regardé les étoiles.
You watched the stars. I visited a museum. I visited a museum.
J'ai visité un musée.
I visited a museum. She heard a noise. She heard a noise.
Elle a entendu un bruit.
She heard a noise. We prepared dinner. We prepared dinner.
Nous avons préparé le dîner.
We prepared dinner. He fixed the car. He fixed the car.
Il a réparé la voiture.
He fixed the car. They cooked together. They cooked together.
Ils ont cuisiné ensemble.
They cooked together. You wrote a poem. You wrote a poem.
Tu as écrit un poème.
You wrote a poem. I caught a fish. I caught a fish.
J'ai attrapé un poisson.
I caught a fish. She bought a book. She bought a book.
Elle a acheté un livre.
She bought a book. We found a solution. We found a solution.
Nous avons trouvé une solution.
We found a solution. He studied biology. He studied biology.
Il a étudié la biologie.
He studied biology. They sold the house. They sold the house.
Ils ont vendu la maison.
They sold the house. You built a sandcastle. You built a sandcastle.
Tu as construit un château de sable.
You built a sandcastle. I searched for my keys. I searched for my keys.
J'ai cherché mes clés.
I searched for my keys. She played with the cat. She played with the cat.
Elle a joué avec le chat.
She played with the cat. We swam in the sea. We swam in the sea.
Nous avons nagé dans la mer.
We swam in the sea. He walked in the park. He walked in the park.
Il a marché dans le parc.
He walked in the park. They drew landscapes. They drew landscapes.
Ils ont dessiné des paysages.
They drew landscapes. You read the newspaper. You read the newspaper.
Tu as lu le journal.
You read the newspaper. I tidied up my room. I tidied up my room.
J'ai rangé ma chambre.
I tidied up my room. She won the contest. She won the contest.
Elle a gagné le concours.
She won the contest. We admired the view. We admired the view.
Nous avons admiré la vue.
We admired the view. He took a vacation. He took a vacation.
Il a pris des vacances.
He took a vacation. They learned a new language. They learned a new language.
Ils ont appris une nouvelle langue.
They learned a new language. You watched TV. You watched TV.
Tu as regardé la télé.
You watched TV. I wrote a story. I wrote a story.
J'ai écrit une histoire.
I wrote a story. She painted a picture. She painted a picture.
Elle a peint un tableau.
She painted a picture. We studied together. We studied together.
Nous avons étudié ensemble.
We studied together. He danced with her. He danced with her.
Il a dansé avec elle.
He danced with her. They celebrated a birthday. They celebrated a birthday.
Ils ont fêté un anniversaire.
They celebrated a birthday. You rode a bike. You rode a bike.
Tu as fait du vélo.
You rode a bike. I saw a show. I saw a show.
J'ai vu un spectacle.
I saw a show. She ate chocolate. She ate chocolate.
Elle a mangé du chocolat.
She ate chocolate. We sang songs. We sang songs.
Nous avons chanté des chansons.
We sang songs. He brought wine. He brought wine.
Il a apporté du vin.
He brought wine. They fished in the lake. They fished in the lake.
Ils ont pêché dans le lac.
They fished in the lake. You decorated the room. You decorated the room.
Tu as décoré la salle.
You decorated the room. I photographed nature. I photographed nature.
J'ai photographié la nature.
I photographed nature. She repaired her bike. She repaired her bike.
Elle a réparé son vélo.
She repaired her bike. We traveled to Spain. We traveled to Spain.
Nous avons voyagé en Espagne.
We traveled to Spain. He helped his parents. He helped his parents.
Il a aidé ses parents.
He helped his parents. They washed the car. They washed the car.
Ils ont lavé la voiture.
They washed the car. You wrote a letter. You wrote a letter.
Tu as écrit une lettre.
You wrote a letter. I watched the sunset. I watched the sunset.
J'ai regardé le coucher du soleil.
I watched the sunset. She bought a dress. She bought a dress.
Elle a acheté une robe.
She bought a dress. We cooked a meal. We cooked a meal.
Nous avons cuisiné un repas.
We cooked a meal. He saw a movie. He saw a movie.
Il a vu un film.
He saw a movie. They studied physics. They studied physics.
Ils ont étudié la physique.
They studied physics. You drew a tree. You drew a tree.
Tu as dessiné un arbre.
You drew a tree. I cleaned the kitchen. I cleaned the kitchen.
J'ai nettoyé la cuisine.
I cleaned the kitchen. She did her homework. She did her homework.
Elle a fait ses devoirs.
She did her homework. We played cards. We played cards.
Nous avons joué aux cartes.
We played cards. He won the match. He won the match.
Il a gagné le match.
He won the match. They sang together. They sang together.
Ils ont chanté ensemble.
They sang together. You took some photos. You took some photos.
Tu as pris des photos.
You took some photos. I learned French. I learned French.
J'ai appris le français.
I learned French. She visited her grandmother. She visited her grandmother.
Elle a visité sa grand-mère.
She visited her grandmother. We ran a marathon. We ran a marathon.
Nous avons couru un marathon.
We ran a marathon. He wrote a song. He wrote a song.
Il a écrit une chanson.
He wrote a song. They built a boat. They built a boat.
Ils ont construit un bateau.
They built a boat. You repaired your computer. You repaired your computer.
Tu as réparé ton ordinateur.
You repaired your computer. I went hiking. I went hiking.
J'ai fait de la randonnée.
I went hiking. She prepared breakfast. She prepared breakfast.
Elle a préparé le petit déjeuner.
She prepared breakfast. We watched a game. We watched a game.
Nous avons regardé un match.
We watched a game. He studied history. He studied history.
Il a étudié l'histoire.
He studied history. They danced at the ball. They danced at the ball.
Ils ont dansé au bal.
They danced at the ball. You bought a ticket. You bought a ticket.
Tu as acheté un billet.
You bought a ticket. I played the violin. I played the violin.
J'ai joué du violon.
I played the violin. She had a coffee. She had a coffee.
Elle a pris un café.
She had a coffee. We went camping. We went camping.
Nous avons fait du camping.
We went camping. He told a joke. He told a joke.
Il a raconté une blague.
He told a joke. They drew animals. They drew animals.
Ils ont dessiné des animaux.
They drew animals. You cooked a dessert. You cooked a dessert.
Tu as cuisiné un dessert.
You cooked a dessert. I wrote an article. I wrote an article.
J'ai écrit un article.
I wrote an article. She took a taxi. She took a taxi.
Elle a pris un taxi.
She took a taxi. We visited friends. We visited friends.
Nous avons visité des amis.
We visited friends. He bought a computer. He bought a computer.
Il a acheté un ordinateur.
He bought a computer. They played chess. They played chess.
Ils ont joué aux échecs.
They played chess. You read a magazine. You read a magazine.
Tu as lu une revue.
You read a magazine. I saw an exhibition. I saw an exhibition.
J'ai vu une exposition.
I saw an exhibition. She learned to drive. She learned to drive.
Elle a appris à conduire.
She learned to drive. We sang karaoke. We sang karaoke.
Nous avons chanté au karaoké.
We sang karaoke. He won a medal. He won a medal.
Il a gagné une médaille.
He won a medal. They traveled to Italy. They traveled to Italy.
Ils ont voyagé en Italie.
They traveled to Italy. You repaired your watch. You repaired your watch.
Tu as réparé ta montre.
You repaired your watch. I met a celebrity. I met a celebrity.
J'ai rencontré une célébrité.
I met a celebrity. She visited a castle. She visited a castle.
Elle a visité un château.
She visited a castle. We read poems. We read poems.
Nous avons lu des poèmes.
We read poems. He took a vacation. He took a vacation.
Il a pris des vacances.
He took a vacation. They studied mathematics. They studied mathematics.
Ils ont étudié les mathématiques.
They studied mathematics. You drew a portrait. You drew a portrait.
Tu as dessiné un portrait.
You drew a portrait. I went shopping. I went shopping.
J'ai fait du shopping.
I went shopping. She wrote a journal. She wrote a journal.
Elle a écrit un journal.
She wrote a journal. We played basketball. We played basketball.
Nous avons joué au basket.
We played basketball. He fixed the faucet. He fixed the faucet.
Il a réparé le robinet.
He fixed the faucet. They cooked together. They cooked together.
Ils ont cuisiné ensemble.
They cooked together. You watched a documentary. You watched a documentary.
Tu as regardé un documentaire.
You watched a documentary. I drank tea. I drank tea.
J'ai bu du thé.
I drank tea. She danced with joy. She danced with joy.
Elle a dansé avec joie.
She danced with joy. We took notes. We took notes.
Nous avons pris des notes.
We took notes. He did yoga. He did yoga.
Il a fait du yoga.
He did yoga. They watched the birds. They watched the birds.
Ils ont regardé les oiseaux.
They watched the birds. You did the dishes. You did the dishes.
Tu as fait la vaisselle.
You did the dishes. I painted a mural. I painted a mural.
J'ai peint une fresque.
I painted a mural. She fixed her phone. She fixed her phone.
Elle a réparé son téléphone.
She fixed her phone. We had a picnic. We had a picnic.
Nous avons fait un pique-nique.
We had a picnic. He wrote an essay. He wrote an essay.
Il a écrit un essai.
He wrote an essay. They played tennis. They played tennis.
Ils ont joué au tennis.
They played tennis. You saw a play. You saw a play.
Tu as vu une pièce de théâtre.
You saw a play. I sang in the choir. I sang in the choir.
J'ai chanté dans la chorale.
I sang in the choir. She read a novel. She read a novel.
Elle a lu un roman.
She read a novel. We drew a plan. We drew a plan.
Nous avons dessiné un plan.
We drew a plan. He made a decision. He made a decision.
Il a pris une décision.
He made a decision. They studied geography. They studied geography.
Ils ont étudié la géographie.
They studied geography. You ate an ice cream. You ate an ice cream.
Tu as mangé une glace.
You ate an ice cream. I cleaned the garden. I cleaned the garden.
J'ai nettoyé le jardin.
I cleaned the garden. She took a bath. She took a bath.
Elle a pris un bain.
She took a bath. We went skiing. We went skiing.
Nous avons fait du ski.
We went skiing. He played the guitar. He played the guitar.
Il a joué de la guitare.
He played the guitar. They bought clothes. They bought clothes.
Ils ont acheté des vêtements.
They bought clothes. You baked. You baked.
Tu as fait de la pâtisserie.
You baked. I painted a canvas. I painted a canvas.
J'ai peint une toile.
I painted a canvas. She wrote a book. She wrote a book.
Elle a écrit un livre.
She wrote a book. We played hockey. We played hockey.
Nous avons joué au hockey.
We played hockey. He fixed his bike. He fixed his bike.
Il a réparé son vélo.
He fixed his bike. They visited a zoo. They visited a zoo.
Ils ont visité un zoo.
They visited a zoo. You saw an opera. You saw an opera.
Tu as vu un opéra.
You saw an opera. I sang in the shower. I sang in the shower.
J'ai chanté sous la douche.
I sang in the shower. She watched a concert. She watched a concert.
Elle a regardé un concert.
She watched a concert. We made sketches. We made sketches.
Nous avons dessiné des croquis.
We made sketches. He took a photo. He took a photo.
Il a pris une photo.
He took a photo. They studied chemistry. They studied chemistry.
Ils ont étudié la chimie.
They studied chemistry. You ate a salad. You ate a salad.
Tu as mangé une salade.
You ate a salad. I cleaned my car. I cleaned my car.
J'ai nettoyé ma voiture.
I cleaned my car. She took a plane. She took a plane.
Elle a pris un avion.
She took a plane. We went snowboarding. We went snowboarding.
Nous avons fait du snowboard.
We went snowboarding. He played video games. He played video games.
Il a joué aux jeux vidéo.
He played video games. They bought souvenirs. They bought souvenirs.
Ils ont acheté des souvenirs.
They bought souvenirs. You did gardening. You did gardening.
Tu as fait du jardinage.
You did gardening. I painted a wall. I painted a wall.
J'ai peint un mur.
I painted a wall. She wrote a short story. She wrote a short story.
Elle a écrit une nouvelle.
She wrote a short story. We played volleyball. We played volleyball.
Nous avons joué au volleyball.
We played volleyball. He repaired his computer. He repaired his computer.
Il a réparé son ordinateur.
He repaired his computer. They visited an aquarium. They visited an aquarium.
Ils ont visité un aquarium.
They visited an aquarium. You watched a series. You watched a series.
Tu as vu une série.
You watched a series. I sang at karaoke. I sang at karaoke.
J'ai chanté au karaoké.
I sang at karaoke. She watched the fireworks. She watched the fireworks.
Elle a regardé les feux d'artifice.
She watched the fireworks. We drew a map. We drew a map.
Nous avons dessiné une carte.
We drew a map. He took a selfie. He took a selfie.
Il a pris un selfie.
He took a selfie. They studied English. They studied English.
Ils ont étudié l'anglais.
They studied English. You ate fruits. You ate fruits.
Tu as mangé des fruits.
You ate fruits. I cleaned the garage. I cleaned the garage.
J'ai nettoyé le garage.
I cleaned the garage. She took a taxi. She took a taxi.
Elle a pris un taxi.
She took a taxi. We went ice skating. We went ice skating.
Nous avons fait du patin à glace.
We went ice skating. He played the drum. He played the drum.
Il a joué du tambour.
He played the drum. They bought books. They bought books.
Ils ont acheté des livres.
They bought books. You did volunteering. You did volunteering.
Tu as fait du bénévolat.
You did volunteering. I painted a watercolor. I painted a watercolor.
J'ai peint une aquarelle.
I painted a watercolor. She wrote a postcard. She wrote a postcard.
Elle a écrit une carte postale.
She wrote a postcard. We played badminton. We played badminton.
Nous avons joué au badminton.
We played badminton. He fixed the window. He fixed the window.
Il a réparé la fenêtre.
He fixed the window. They visited a park. They visited a park.
Ils ont visité un parc.
They visited a park. You watched a documentary. You watched a documentary.
Tu as vu un documentaire.
You watched a documentary. I sang in public. I sang in public.
J'ai chanté en public.
I sang in public. She watched a parade. She watched a parade.
Elle a regardé un défilé.
She watched a parade. We drew a landscape. We drew a landscape.
Nous avons dessiné un paysage.
We drew a landscape. He took medicine. He took medicine.
Il a pris des médicaments.
He took medicine. They studied music. They studied music.
Ils ont étudié la musique.
They studied music. You ate a sandwich. You ate a sandwich.
Tu as mangé un sandwich.
You ate a sandwich. I cleaned the bathroom. I cleaned the bathroom.
J'ai nettoyé la salle de bain.
I cleaned the bathroom. She made an important decision. She made an important decision.
Elle a pris une décision importante.
She made an important decision. We went sledding. We went sledding.
Nous avons fait de la luge.
We went sledding. He played cards. He played cards.
Il a joué aux cartes.
He played cards. They bought shoes. They bought shoes.
Ils ont acheté des chaussures.
They bought shoes. You knitted. You knitted.
Tu as fait du tricot.
You knitted. I painted a still life. I painted a still life.
J'ai peint une nature morte.
I painted a still life. She wrote a recipe. She wrote a recipe.
Elle a écrit une recette.
She wrote a recipe. We played rugby. We played rugby.
Nous avons joué au rugby.
We played rugby. He fixed his motorcycle. He fixed his motorcycle.
Il a réparé sa moto.
He fixed his motorcycle. They visited a farm. They visited a farm.
Ils ont visité une ferme.
They visited a farm. You saw an art exhibition. You saw an art exhibition.
Tu as vu une exposition d'art.
You saw an art exhibition. I sang a lullaby. I sang a lullaby.
J'ai chanté une berceuse.
I sang a lullaby. She watched a soccer game. She watched a soccer game.
Elle a regardé un match de football.
She watched a soccer game. We drew an animal. We drew an animal.
Nous avons dessiné un animal.
We drew an animal. He took a shower. He took a shower.
Il a pris une douche.
He took a shower. They studied philosophy. They studied philosophy.
Ils ont étudié la philosophie.
They studied philosophy. You ate pasta. You ate pasta.
Tu as mangé des pâtes.
You ate pasta. I cleaned the pool. I cleaned the pool.
J'ai nettoyé la piscine.
I cleaned the pool. She took a group photo. She took a group photo.
Elle a pris une photo de groupe.
She took a group photo. We went kayaking. We went kayaking.
Nous avons fait du kayak.
We went kayaking. He played billiards. He played billiards.
Il a joué au billard.
He played billiards. They bought flowers. They bought flowers.
Ils ont acheté des fleurs.
They bought flowers. You crocheted. You crocheted.
Tu as fait du crochet.
You crocheted. I painted a portrait. I painted a portrait.
J'ai peint un portrait.
I painted a portrait. She wrote a love letter. She wrote a love letter.
Elle a écrit une lettre d'amour.
She wrote a love letter. We played baseball. We played baseball.
Nous avons joué au baseball.
We played baseball. He fixed the dishwasher. He fixed the dishwasher.
Il a réparé le lave-vaisselle.
He fixed the dishwasher. They visited an art museum. They visited an art museum.
Ils ont visité un musée d'art.
They visited an art museum. You saw an animated movie. You saw an animated movie.
Tu as vu un film d'animation.
You saw an animated movie. I sang in a band. I sang in a band.
J'ai chanté dans un groupe.
I sang in a band. She watched a TV series. She watched a TV series.
Elle a regardé une série télé.
She watched a TV series. We drew a building. We drew a building.
Nous avons dessiné un bâtiment.
We drew a building. He had a latte. He had a latte.
Il a pris un café au lait.
He had a latte. They studied literature. They studied literature.
Ils ont étudié la littérature.
They studied literature. You ate fresh bread. You ate fresh bread.
Tu as mangé du pain frais.
You ate fresh bread. I cleaned the attic. I cleaned the attic.
J'ai nettoyé le grenier.
I cleaned the attic. She had an herbal tea. She had an herbal tea.
Elle a pris une infusion.
She had an herbal tea. We went surfing. We went surfing.
Nous avons fait du surf.
We went surfing. He played dominoes. He played dominoes.
Il a joué au domino.
He played dominoes. They bought a painting. They bought a painting.
Ils ont acheté un tableau.
They bought a painting. You sewed. You sewed.
Tu as fait de la couture.
You sewed. I painted a beach scene. I painted a beach scene.
J'ai peint une scène de plage.
I painted a beach scene. She wrote a speech. She wrote a speech.
Elle a écrit un discours.
She wrote a speech. We played cricket. We played cricket.
Nous avons joué au cricket.
We played cricket. He fixed his refrigerator. He fixed his refrigerator.
Il a réparé son réfrigérateur.
He fixed his refrigerator. They visited a library. They visited a library.
Ils ont visité une bibliothèque.
They visited a library. You saw a musical. You saw a musical.
Tu as vu une comédie musicale.
You saw a musical. I sang in church. I sang in church.
J'ai chanté à l'église.
I sang in church. She watched a ballet. She watched a ballet.
Elle a regardé un ballet.
She watched a ballet. We drew a car. We drew a car.
Nous avons dessiné une voiture.
We drew a car. He bought a train ticket. He bought a train ticket.
Il a pris un billet de train.
He bought a train ticket.